The following video is based on an actual reported encounter. All names have been changed for privacy. In the early spring 2003, Alison said she and her coworker Sarah attended a health conference in Duluth, Minnesota. After spending a couple days learning the latest trends in their field, they talked over dinner before heading back to South Vienna, Ohio. The drive started off uneventfully, the two ladies enjoying some light-hearted banter. However, as the miles stretched on, the road seemed to grow unfamiliar, and before they knew it, they found themselves lost in a wooded area. "We must have taken a wrong turn," Sarah exclaimed, peering at the map. Alison's grip on the steering wheel tightened as they navigated through the dense forest. The sun had gone down, and Alison remembers the darkness adding to their unease. Suddenly, as they rounded a bend, they spotted some sort of animal standing on the side of the road. Whatever it was, they didn't recognize it as any animal they had ever seen. "What on earth is that?" Alison whispered as they drove past it. Sarah, finding the road they were driving on the map, told Alison to take the next right. As they were approaching their next turn, Alison looked up in the rearview mirror and gasped at what she saw. Sarah turned around to look behind them, seeing the creature they had passed running behind their car. They made the turn with the creature still in pursuit. A short distance down the road, they heard a loud thud from something on top of the car. Alison looked back, no longer seeing the creature behind them, and realized it had leapt onto the roof. She pressed on the gas, but it hung on. Alison said she thinks they had driven about a mile or two with the creature on the roof when she slammed on the brakes, throwing the creature off the car. They saw it fly off the roof, landing on the road in their headlights. While the creature was laying in the road somewhat stunned, Alison accelerated quickly around it, glancing at it in the mirror as they drove away. She remembers it being too big to run over. "Keep going," Sarah shouted, her heart pounding in her chest. Alison swerved around a curve, the headlights piercing through the darkness as they raced back to civilization. Sarah used the map to tell Alison where to turn, keeping an eye out behind them for the creature as they drove. Alison said she had never been so glad to see lights as when they approached the town they drove into. They continued driving for about a half hour when Alison said she was just too shaken to drive further. They opted to stay the night in a hotel. After checking in and unloading their luggage in their room, they decided to go down to the hotel bar for a couple drinks to help them relax. As they were sitting at the table talking about what had occurred, a woman came up to their table and asked if she could join them, which they obliged. Alison said she remembers when the older woman sat down, she noticed she was wearing a pleasant, floral-scented fragrance. She introduced herself as Ruby, a retired schoolteacher. Ruby told them she had overheard their conversation and wanted to share what she knew about the subject. Ruby told them about her best friend growing up. She said her friend was a descendant of the Algonquian people. Her friend's grandmother lived with them, and she would tell all kinds of stories. She said one of the stories that stood out to her the most were the ones about the Wendigo. Ruby said she had an old book that had depictions of the creature, and what they were describing sounded a lot like the pictures she had seen in that book. Sarah asked what exactly a Wendigo was. She explained to the best of her recollection they were a supernatural, cannibalistic demon of some sort. They were prevalent in the Algonquian folklore from around the northern U.S. and parts of Canada. Ruby told them to consider themselves lucky to have gotten away. She said when she overheard them, she couldn't help but share what she could remember from her friend's grandmother's tales. They left in the morning, making their way back to South Vienna. Alison said this is the first time she's spoken about their encounter in the year since it first happened. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you've had a Wendigo or other supernatural encounter, we would love to hear about it in the comments. If you enjoyed their story, please remember to click like on the video and subscribe to our channel, Dreamscape Horrors, as there's much more to come.